If you're an empath who feels more at peace with animals than people, you've probably been told you're avoiding real connection, that you're hiding, that you need to get out more. And maybe you've even wondered if they're right. So let me say this clearly. Preferring animals doesn't mean you're broken at socializing. Often it means your nervous system recognizes safety when it feels it. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through 8 honest truths about why empaths gravitate toward animals, not as excuses, more like explanations. And here are 2 promises. First, one of these truths will name something you've felt for years but never had words for. Second, by the end, I'll give you one simple way to know if you're genuinely choosing animals or just protecting yourself from unsafe humans. But before we begin, let's start with the question that matters. Not, why can't I connect with people like everyone else? A better question is, what do animals offer that people often don't? Because your system doesn't choose comfort randomly. It learns. And if being around people means defending yourself, explaining yourself, or erasing yourself, then being with animals stops feeling like settling. It starts feeling like coming home. Truth number 1. Animals don't require you to translate. When you're with a dog, a cat, a horse, you don't have to soften your truth. You don't say, "I'm fine," when you're falling apart. You don't perform energy you don't have. Animals read you directly. They sense your actual state, not your words. And if you grew up learning that your real feelings were inconvenient, if honesty got you punished or dismissed, then you didn't just develop a filter. You developed a second self, the one for public, the one that's palatable. So today, when you sit with a person, part of you is working, translating grief into "I'm just tired," translating overwhelm into "I'm fine, really." But when you sit with an animal, that job ends. They already know. And for an empath, that kind of unfiltered presence isn't lazy, it's relief. Now here's a tiny check-in. Don't overthink it, just notice. When you imagine talking to a friend about something real, does part of you start editing before you even speak? Does your body tense slightly? If yes, that's not antisocial. That's your system saying, "With people I work, with animals I rest." With truth number 2, animals don't take your energy. You've probably had this experience. Someone messages you, they're upset, you listen, you hold space, you respond thoughtfully, and when it's over, they feel better. You feel drained. But animals don't do that. A cat doesn't vent for an hour and then disappear. A dog doesn't trauma dump and forget to ask how you are. The exchange is clean. You give presence, they give presence. No one's keeping score. And here's what many empaths don't realize. You're not allergic to connection. You're allergic to extraction. Because if most of your human relationships feel like one-way energy transfers, of course you'd choose the being that doesn't need you to be their emotional container. Let me give you a quick scene. You come home after a hard day. A person might say, "What's wrong?" and before you know it, you're managing their reaction to your feelings, reassuring them you're okay, making it easier for them. But a dog just leans against you, a cat curls up nearby. No questions, no demands, just "I'm here." And that simplicity isn't less than human connection. Sometimes it's more honest. Truth number 3, animals don't punish you for boundaries. Empaths often become experts at saying yes when they mean no. Why? Because early on you learned that boundaries got you labeled difficult, cold, selfish. So you stopped setting them. You became the person who's always available, always understanding. And then you meet an animal. You don't feel like playing. The dog doesn't guilt trip you. You need space. The cat doesn't say, "You've changed." Animals accept your no without making it mean you don't care. And if that's foreign to you, if that kind of respect feels rare, then of course animals feel safer. They're not safer because people are bad. They're safer because they don't weaponize your limits. Truth number 4, animals don't perform. Here's something subtle but important. When you're with people, especially groups, there's often a layer of performance. The jokes that aren't quite real, the laughter that's just noise, the conversations where everyone's half present, half performing. And as an empath, you feel that gap, the distance between what's said and what's true. It exhausts you. But animals are exactly what they are. A bird doesn't pretend to be cheerful. A rabbit doesn't fake comfort. And when you've spent years navigating human inauthenticity, that kind of transparency feels like oxygen. You're not judging people for performing. Many learned it to survive. But your system can't relax in environments where no one's being real. So you go where realness lives. And often, that's not a coffee shop. It's a forest, a stable, your living room floor with a purring cat. Truth number 5. Animals meet you in silence. Empaths often love silence. Not awkward silence, sacred silence. The kind where you don't have to fill space with words. But many people panic in silence. They talk to avoid it. They ask surface questions. They turn on music, TV, anything to cover the quiet. And for you, that constant noise feels like static. Animals are comfortable with silence. You can sit with a dog for an hour and neither of you needs to speak. That silence isn't empty. It's full of presence, of breath, of just being. And if you rarely experience that with humans, of course you seek it elsewhere. Truth number 6. Animals don't misinterpret your sensitivity. When you feel deeply, people often tell you you're overreacting, too sensitive, too much. They don't mean harm, usually. They just don't live in your nervous system. But animals never call you dramatic for feeling. A horse doesn't mock you for crying. A dog doesn't roll their eyes at your anxiety. They just stay. And that non-judgmental presence is something many empaths spend years searching for in humans and rarely find. Truth number 7. Loving animals isn't avoidance. Sometimes it's discernment. Here's the part that might challenge you a little, and I say it gently. Sometimes choosing animals over people isn't the problem. The problem is believing you have to choose, because the truth is you don't need to abandon human connection. You need better humans. Humans who meet you the way animals do, without agenda, without judgment, without extraction. And until you find those humans, choosing animals isn't failure, it's wisdom. Truth number 8. Animals teach you what safe connection feels like. This is the one that changes everything. When you spend time with animals, your nervous system learns something crucial. Connection doesn't have to hurt. Presence doesn't have to cost. Love doesn't require performing. And once your body knows that, it stops tolerating the human relationships that demand the opposite. So if you prefer animals, you're not avoiding growth, you're protecting something sacred, your capacity to feel safe while being yourself. Now here's the question I promised, the one that helps you know if this is genuine preference or protective isolation. After spending time with an animal, do you feel more open to life or more closed off from it? If animals help you soften, breathe, return to yourself so you can engage the world more fully, that's health. If they're the only place you feel anything and everything else is numb, that might be worth exploring with Your gentle body will curiosity. tell you the truth. So here's what I want you to hear. You're not defective for preferring the company of beings who don't demand you shrink. You're not immature for choosing peace over performance. You're not broken for wanting connection that doesn't leave you empty. You're an empath who's learned to recognize safety. And that's not something to fix, that's something to honor. And when you do eventually find humans who feel like your dog feels, like your cat feels, calm, honest, steady, you won't have to choose anymore. Because real connection, whether with animals or people, has one thing in common. It feels like you can finally stop protecting yourself and just be.